Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi Night. I'm your host, Sebastian Middle Martinez, and this is the show where we take a look at some of the lesser known sci-fi and horror movies out there and try to find the right expectations needed to get the most out of them. So, in tonight's episode we're taking a look at a film from New Zealand that leaves quite a few things open to interpretation. Yeah, it's one of those movies. The Ugly is a 1997 film from New Zealand written and directed by the hidden talent Scott Reynolds, who has since not done anything worth mentioning. The film stars Paolo Rotondo as the serial killer Simon and Rebecca Hobbs as his psychologist. Actors who people outside of New Zealand probably have never heard of. They both do a good job in this film, and it's strange that these performances didn't do better things for their careers. The Ugly is about a notorious serial killer who spent the past 5 years in a mental institution. Upon his request, he is examined by a new psychologist who starts to listen to his claims that something else was forcing him to commit these horrible murders.
No! What do you mean, no? Serial killers get a sense of control from their killings.
I'm not a serial killer!
As we learn more about Simon's past, the psychologist starts to realize that these murders may be more than just the work of a violent psychopath. So let me just start off by saying that this film really shines when it comes to talent and potential. You can tell that a lot of really talented people worked on this film, even if it isn't all as realized as I would have liked it to be. The film looks great, and it has an almost nightmarish look to it. The film is very dreamily shot and edited, and the way the present characters fit into the flashbacks surrounding Simon's past is really cool. Some of that cool gets broken up by the fact that the people running the mental institution seem just as crazy as the patients inside. I mean, come on, would you feel safe with Rob Zombie over here working security? In the film, Simon has already attacked and killed personnel working at the mental institution, so you can understand why the orderlies kind of dislike him. But still, they're so over the top that they kind of seem like cartoon characters. Sure, some of this could be attributed to the fact that you're kind of seeing them from Simon's perspective, but it's still a little bit distracting. Also, the head psychiatrist at the hospital is almost over the top enough to be a villain in an Austin Powers movie.
Right.
Like I said, I get the impression that their behavior is supposed to be an exaggeration based on how Simon sees them, but it still kind of takes you out of the mood for a while. Mood that is otherwise brilliant. Basically, the whole way that this movie looks, sounds, and feels is brilliantly dark and eerie. It really delivers in terms of artistic values, as it's got some incredibly nice and horrible shots at the same time that are downright haunting. Check out this one. This is one of my favorite shots from the whole movie. Unfortunately though, this film doesn't really deliver on all fields. Simon's background story is hardly anything you haven't seen before in other serial killer films, and the hands down most interesting ideas and themes are only presented right at the end and never properly explored. So the idea is for us, the audience, to think about everything that's presented and come up with our own ideas and answers at the end. However, I still can't help but feel the film doesn't really deliver in terms of climax and cohesion. In films like this, we don't have to get all the answers, but clues are always appreciated. This film only delivers vague ones, and the ending will probably end up pissing a lot of people off. Everything is very dreamlike, and in dreams, things are often stronger in tone and visuals than actual information. So, for better or worse, this film definitely feels like it lives up to those dreamy standards. So, what should you expect from this movie? Style over substance. Usually this means that a film only focuses on the visual. In this sense, it's more of along the lines of the visuals being stronger than the actual, somewhat unclear plot. The film wants to do more than it accomplishes, but what it actually does accomplish is darkly gorgeous visuals. I really can't stress this enough. The way this film is shot and edited is perfect for this type of flick. and at times it stands out amongst the competition. Why is the blood black? What are these visitors that Simon is talking about? Who in the right mind would hire Rob Zombie as an orderly? You won't find any answers in this film, but at least I'll be presented nicely. Great talent. From the acting, to the direction, to the editing, to the haunting soundtrack. Everything is in place for a great movie. The film has a downright unpleasant feel to it sometimes, which is good for this kind of movie. And you can tell there was a lot of real talent and potential involved in making a film. Even if not all of it fulfills its potential, you can tell that a lot of hard work went into making it, and for some people, that might just be enough. Less than stellar execution. For all the talent and potential here, it doesn't all come together. The film is unclear, starts ending when the interest is at its peak, and some of the characters detract from the overall feel I think the movie is going for. These problems hold the film back from being great. As it stands, it's still a pretty good film though.
Did you see them?
What?
Did you see something?
No, you said, did you see them?
So if you're in the mood for a horror thriller that has great atmosphere and looks beautifully dark, then you've got a goldmine right here. But just don't expect the weird, supernatural and otherworldly elements to play a super strong part in the film, because unfortunately, they don't. But like I've said, this is a very abstract film where you're supposed to think about and interpret parts on your own. If you're okay with not having all the answers and a less than conventional ending, then this really is a true gem, that for some people could be on the same level as Seven. However, if you want a more traditionally told story, then you might be a bit ticked off by the ending and presentation of this film. All in all, it comes down to how much work you're willing to do on your own. So that about does it for this episode of Sci-Fi Night. We hope you enjoyed it. All you New Zealanders out there, be sure to give this episode some love for me sharing a film from your country. As always, you guys should leave us some comments in the comment section below, letting us know what you think of a movie The Ugly, and also what kind of films you want to see brought up here in the future. Already being down there, you might as well click the like and subscribe button to help the show out and stay updated with it. And as always, we'll catch you guys next week.
What the hell is going on in here?